Hi and welcome back to your personal advisor. In this video, I will start giving advice to those who have responded to the Google form, which by the way is currently still open for you to write down your problems that I can advise you on perhaps next week. Oh, and by the way, the Google form is still in the description box down below, so if you could go check it out, it would be really great. Before starting the actual video, I would like to thank the first few 14 submissions who have responded to the Google form because it really helps me a lot for this project. So the first problem I will give advice to states that, so my friend has this really terrible habit that she picked up out of irony and now she can't stop. I really want her to stop that habit as it is really starting to annoy me and my other friends, but I do not want to seem rude about it. What can I do to make her stop or minimize her habit? By the way, that habit is to dab every time someone speaks. First of all, wow, dabbing! I advise you to first give some subtle hints. For example, if she dabs, you can lower her arm and tell her, no! It is not direct, but also not so subtle. But it still does give indirect hints that you are annoyed with her dabbing. And it might not really be considered rude if you're close to them because they might understand your subtle hint. However, if she doesn't stop, I advise you to straightforwardly tell her to stop dabbing because it annoys people and clearly annoys you. I think she would understand solely because she is your friend and would of course be understanding. Moving on to the next problem, which is simply school and personal project. I don't really have any say on it because it is rather vague, so I advise you to be more specific. I'm really sorry, but if you want a more detailed response, you are gladly welcome to send in a more detailed version of it, which, by the way, once again, the link is still in the description box. But briefly, I need to tell you the truth, you can't escape or run away from the two unless you drop out of school, which I think is a pretty bad idea. Although personal project might not exactly be the most important project in your life, you still have to make it count because it is your past in order to get to the diploma program. Maybe consult with your supervisor as when you can because they are the ones that will guide you to make your personal project not as difficult because of the guidance you receive from them. As for school, although there is so much work and it can get stressful at times, you must always know that it is kind of worth it at the end because you will graduate and go somewhere else and maybe get a job you'll like and actually start living a life you want. Maybe, okay, maybe. And the basis of it is school. Not everything comes easy. Just have a simple plan or something. Even if you don't do it, you'll be fine too. Maybe things will come by unexpectedly and that's also fine. And finally, the third problem is about feeling like a worse person every day as stated like this. I don't really know how to describe this well, but I feel like I'm becoming a generally worse person every day. Like, I show how I constantly want attention, and to be honest, I'm kind of a hypocrite at times. I guess sometimes I also make promises that I can't keep, and I keep on disappointing everyone. I feel like everyone is continuously improving themselves in a lot of ways, and I'm the exact opposite. And I'm scared of losing those who put their trust in me, and I'm slipping away in the future. Help! I don't think you're becoming a generally worse person every day because, as you said, that's how you feel, which doesn't necessarily mean is true. And I think it's quite healthy of you that you know what you're doing wrong, like the breaking a promise part and the hypocrite part you said. I honestly, looking at what you responded in the Google form, kind of feel like this isn't because you are a generally bad person, but because you might have bad habits that lead you into thinking that you're a bad person. So, I'm going to give advice bit by bit, starting with the wanting attention part, but also hypocritical. Maybe you weren't paying attention with what you're doing when you wanted attention from your surroundings and then not give the same amount of attention you expected from others, which, like you said, is hypocritical. However, according to riskology.co, a website, To avoid hypocrisy, you have to acknowledge cognitive dissonance and teach your conscious mind to overcome your subconscious. You have to train the part of you that thinks rationally to start winning the fight against the part of you that thinks irrationally. So maybe I'm only assuming that when you subconsciously want attention, that's when your head starts thinking irrationally. But when you start realizing that it might be hypocritical of you, that's probably when your head is thinking rationally. So I advise you, when your subconscious would like attention, you have to start taking control and release the rational part of you, and then slowly you can minimize your habit on becoming a hypocrite. Secondly, for the promises part, if I were to be brutally honest, if you aren't ready to make a promise or absolutely cannot make a promise, then don't make one until you know you can keep it. If you happen to break a promise, I advise you to immediately tell the person you're breaking the promise with and justify your answer with why you're breaking it. Make sure that the answer is reasonable enough and can be understanding. You have reached the end of the video, and I hope you could find the advice useful and take it at least into consideration. But I would like to still apologize in advance if the advice given was not as expected, but I hope to improve. So if you could give inputs on how I could improve on my advice, videos, and Instagram account, you may leave a comment down below or DM me on my Instagram, which I will link in the description box below. Bye bye!